There is no worse feeling than rehoming an animal and then regretting it later, really missing the animal you no longer have. And this has happened to me 5 times. So today, let's talk about the top 5 reptiles I regret rehoming. My name's Adam, this is Pikachu, you're watching Wickens Reptiles, stick around. I think we all know by now, you're gonna rehome reptiles sometimes if you amass a big enough collection, menagerie, whatever you wanna call it. And that just kind of sucks because there are animals that you're gonna get that maybe don't jive well with you, it's not the right species for you, and you didn't really know until you had the experience with it. And it's just better off giving it to somebody else who will have more time for it or maybe just enjoy that species a little bit more. So let's start off with number 5. Long ago, I had a ball python collection. I was starting to breed ball pythons. This was in 2016, 2017. And I had a partner that I was doing this with, right? I had this girlfriend and we bred ball pythons together. And then, well, it just became a lot. We amassed this very large collection of ball pythons, or for me at the time, it was a lot. We were in this really tiny room. We're talking about like maybe a quarter the size of this room. I built all the racks. They had pretty good size enclosures. We did it right, the whole thing, but they all ate live. A lot of them that we got were Kijiji finds that maybe someone, moved on. We found this amazing pair of lessers, for example, that we wanted to, make all white snakes, and that's what we decided to do. But of course, they just ate live. And I just wasn't really comfortable at that time with rats or that many snakes, and I kind of got in over my head a little bit too quickly. And then when that relationship ended, I was left with all these snakes by myself. I had a day job at the time, and I was, just starting stand-up comedy at the time too. So I was just too busy. I couldn't do it all at the same time, and I decided to rehome the entire collection. I rehomed the entire collection and racks for like $700. We're talking about thousands of dollars worth of snakes, and we only produced a few clutches. And all of them went to the same person with the racks and the whole thing. And yeah, I regret it because I think that if I just maybe hired someone to help me, took the proceeds or the earnings from the first couple clutches that popped out of that collection and hired someone to help, maybe I could have kept it. I just feel like I got in over my head too quickly. I learned a lesson. It'll never happen again. And then now I have a rather large collection, but this is my full-time job. And also I have someone that I've hired to help me. So I did learn a valuable lesson, but I definitely regret rehoming that entire collection all at the same time. Number 4, cave geckos. Chinese cave geckos are a really cool species. Now I bought a trio, so 2 females and a male, and this was a couple of years ago. I just couldn't get them to breed. They were really healthy. They had a great enclosure. They seemed like they were, having a great time. I really thought that I was doing what I could with them or what I should be doing with them. And generally, they're going to breed. Generally, if geckos are happy or animals in general are happy, they're going to breed together. And unfortunately, I couldn't get them to breed. And the whole point of me getting them was to proliferate the species because I feel like there aren't enough of them around. And I couldn't. So I gave them to somebody who I think could do a better job. I am not in contact with this person anymore, so I have no idea if they ever did breed, but I would like to think that they did. And if not, well, I hope that they still have a really good life. But the reason that I rehomed them is just simply, I wanted to breed, I couldn't do it. And although I do enjoy having them, maybe I should have kept them just for the pure enjoyment and being able to show them in videos and things like that. Because I did like having them in a big enclosure. They had a rock wall background because they do climb. And they were just really fun to watch. Sometimes you just come in and then you turn the light on in the room and they're all out and they just freeze. And one of them's like hanging upside down because they've got really strong feet. So it was really fun to watch and to have them. But anyway, I stand by what I did, but I kind of regret rehoming all of them. Maybe I could have kept one of the females or something as a pet. Before we move on, I want to say thanks to today's sponsor, CuriosityStream. I love this streaming platform. If you are somebody who is curious about science and geography and all sorts of cool documentaries, CuriosityStream is the streaming service for you. It's not just documentaries, there's original shows as well. One of the ones that I started watching when I first started watching CuriosityStream, Doug to the Rescue. This is a guy who throws drones up in the air after natural disasters. He finds pets that may have run away or escaped, and then he brings them back to their home. So it's drones, and it's animals, my 2 favorite things. Just think of it like this. It's smart TV for your smart TV. If you like to learn as you relax and watch television, this is what's for you. And of course, it doesn't have to be your TV. It could be your computer, tablet, your phone, whatever. You can watch CuriosityStream on whatever device that you have. And there is so much. You are not going to run out of things to watch. Tons of award-winning exclusives and originals that you can only see on CuriosityStream. History, engineering, volcanoes, myth and monsters, you pick it. It doesn't matter. It's going to be on there, whatever you're into. So right now, go to curiositystream.com/WWReptiles23 and use code WWReptiles23. You get 25% off just for signing up. Even before that discount, it's one of the best and most affordable streaming platforms that I've ever seen. It truly is my favorite. Whenever I turn on the television, it's usually CuriosityStream first. So go to curiositystream.com/WWReptiles23 and use code WWReptiles23 and get yourself 25% off just for signing up. Thanks for sponsoring today's video, CuriosityStream. Number 3, Bruce, the monkey tail skink. So I originally got Bruce at a reptile expo. It was sort of an impulse purchase. I wanted monkey tail skinks and I had an enclosure set up, but I wasn't expecting to get one that day because I was still searching for one. I show up, sure enough, they have 2 monkey tail skinks. And then the guy said to me, hey, you should take this one. I'll give you a discount, gave me a great rate, and I bought it and I took him home. So we named him Bruce because he was very green. He looked like Bruce Banner, like the Hulk. And he acted like the Hulk too, we found out. When it was put in my hand at the Reptile Expo, Bruce was super calm, but he was also really cold. And as soon as we brought him up to temperature and he had a little bit more heat and the proper conditions, well, we kind of got the idea that maybe this animal wasn't as excited about being handled as we once thought. And therefore, I had to rehome the animal because I did get 2 more monkey tail skinks, which are behind me, that big enclosure behind me. And they're social creatures. So the whole idea was to have the 2 that I bought and then put them with Bruce, and then they'd be a happy family. Unfortunately, one of the bigger ones tried to kill Bruce, right? The bigger of the 2 monkey tail skinks that I have tried to kill Bruce, and I couldn't house them together. And therefore now I have a lone monkey tail skink. So I have the same problem I had before, which was that he might have been lonely, because these are in fact animals that do better in groups. And I have these 2 that live together. So it made sense to keep the 2 that live together and then get rid of Bruce. So that's what I did. I rehomed him. I actually got a great deal. I got a couple Leucomellas, like the dart frogs are a trio actually. Some keel belly lizards I also got, and something else. The knobtail gecko. So I got a bunch of really cool animals in a trade. So it wasn't like a swap for money. But at the same time, I did like that animal, and I think if I put enough effort into it, I might have been able to socialize him. So there is still a little bit of regret for getting rid of Bruce. Number 2, Bertha. Now this goes back to the same time when I had that ball python collection, and Bertha was this beautiful bearded dragon. And at the time I had 3. I had Jackson and Taz, which I got in 2009 or 2010. And they were really great. I mean, they were fantastic animals. There was a pair of bearded dragons. I kept them separately. They're outside for the summer. They did great. And then eventually I went and got Big Bertha. So if you remember from this video or whatever corner it pops up, I did a video about animals that I regret getting. And one of those was a red tail boa, or actually a BCI, that I didn't choose to get, but we got, and it was great for a little while. Well, at the same time, that same day, I got Big Bertha. It was just an animal that needed a home. So I took Bertha home and I housed her with the other female bearded dragon, and they actually did great together. But I just decided eventually that as I was downsizing, getting rid of the ball python collection, that... Oh, it's the monkey tail skinks being crazy. That perhaps I didn't need that many bearded dragons, and at the time I was considering getting out of the hobby just because I was so... I don't know, like down on myself that I failed at keeping the reptiles that I like to keep. And of course, like now I'm living by myself for the first time in a while. And it just, I regret getting rid of her because I think that I did it in a hasty way. And then almost immediately after, Taz passed away, and then Jackson passed away a few months later. And it was just because they were 11 or 12 years old. Like they were pretty old bearded dragons, and they didn't have the best life before I got them. So they were kind of stunted in the whole thing. So I was left with no bearded dragons, right? So I had a very small collection at that point, and I think maybe having Bertha would have been great, and I would have had her all the way until the channel started, and I probably wouldn't have talked so much crap about bearded dragons before I got Diamond, because if you don't know, Diamond I didn't get until July 2020, and I started this channel in January 2019. So I used to talk a lot of trash about bearded dragons, and maybe it was like my own trauma of missing bearded dragons, but either way, Bertha is number 2. Oh, and there's no B-roll of Bertha, but I'll just show you a bunch of B-roll of Diamond, because yeah, you know what a bearded dragon looks like, right? But Bertha was way bigger than Diamond. She was huge. Number 1, going back to that ball python collection, Champ. Now, I didn't get rid of Champ, which was a champagne pewter ball python. With that collection, I just couldn't. I like all white snakes. Those are some of my favorite snakes. I was trying to make some. That's why, you know, I tried to breed some fires last year. They didn't turn out. Unfortunately, the fire female passed away, so I'm not going to be producing any this year. That's why I got the lessers back in the day to try to make, if you don't know, there are certain morphs that if you breed them together, you get a leucistic snake, either black-eyed or blue-eyed. So I liked all white snakes, and this animal was almost all white. But I was trying to get rid of all of my ball pythons. I couldn't get rid of this one in the deal. My sister was starting to get into ball pythons, and I just gave it to her as a present for her birthday. So, I mean, she still has the animal. Like, I can still see him whenever. In fact, I babysat this animal when she went on vacation one time. So I'm glad that it went to a good home and I can still see the animal. I just wish that I had an all-white snake. I didn't think it would be, you know, that was in 2017 that I got rid of them. And it's been, what, 5 years, or 6 years, I guess. And I still don't have an all-white snake. So I kind of regret getting rid of this guy, Champ, which I think he has a different name now. But either way, I just wish I had an all-white snake. So, I mean, I guess I could just go buy one now, right? I love the animal, great animal. I mean, it was super tolerant of handling. It ate really well, frozen thawed, the whole thing. So I just kind of regret getting rid of it because it was such a good snake. Come here, buddy. Speaking of good snakes. But I have Pikachu, and I mean, I guess I can't regret any of these too much because they all had their reasons and it just made sense at the time. So either way, regretting getting rid of an animal is something that you might think about for a while, but honestly, if it's time, it's time. And this isn't a video to deter you from getting rid of an animal, rehoming an animal if you really need to. It's just simply that sometimes you need to, and sometimes you'll regret it, and sometimes you'll think about it, but it's very rare. I mean, I had to rack my brain to think of 5 to make this video. This video was someone put it in the comment section below, so write your comments below, your video ideas, and maybe I'll pick one for you. Either way, let me know in the comment section what you think. Do you have an animal you wish that you never got rid of? Let me know. And of course, I want to say thanks if you hit the subscribe button and the like button. It really helps the channel. And as always, a special thanks to the Patreon supporters. You guys are freaking amazing. Thank you so much for all of what you do. If you want extra videos, things like that, you can get all that for as little as $1 a month. And because we do videos on Mondays and Thursdays, that means I'll see you in the next one.